We're live. Talk.
Okay, we're here at the mansion. It is October 11th, 10:10, and it's pretty cold here at the mansion. That's why I'm all bundled up. Reason that's pretty cold is the Cubs are done. Okay, the Cubs are done. They lost today 3-1 to the Brewers. Lost the series 3-2. And we're going to do a little bit of a recap of the series. Not so much the final synopsis of the year in review. We'll do a year in review a little bit later on when we kind of compile a bunch of statistics and data and thoughts and opinions and maybe some of your comments, okay? Boy, I wish I had an Aurelio's Pizza right now sitting in front of me with a couple of old styles. But
not paid by either of those people.
But it didn't. It didn't farm out that way. Again, as my co-host next to me has always said,
I tried warning people that
they don't
hit 5 home runs in a game.
Their only run tonight was courtesy of a home run
in the second inning.
Second inning, so they went 7 innings beyond that without.
That's what they do.
A run.
And they paid $40 million. They paid $40 million. And you know what? Just say whatever it is the hell you want to say. Just say it. You got the data. You got the stat sheet.
I got the stat sheet of the 5 games.
Say it.
And then we're going to kind of critique. We could critique Council's business, how he handled.
And it's not only him. Before we continue, that's not he.
Okay, now, you have to, you could only play with what you got. Now, here, and everybody's sitting there going, it's what the Brewers did. It's what the Brewers did all year long. It's
what the Brewers had to. Okay. The Brewers had to go out of their way to kick your ass.
Okay. Now, this is what the Cubs did, as opposed to what the Brewers, didn't do. This is what the Cubs did. Right before we got on the air here, I wanted to get some exact stats. I got batting averages, hits at bats, and strikeouts. That's all I needed, okay? Because it was anemic in the 5 games, okay? Without any question, Nico Hoerner, far and away, was the best ball player, okay? The Cubs only had 31 hits in 5 games. I say that first because Nico Hoerner had 9 of the 31. He had 1/3 of the hits.
Oh my God.
Hoerner batted, he was 9 for 20 and batted .450. Okay? After that, it gets really anemic. And it was in no particular, I tried to do it by the batting order. Okay? And he only had 2 strikeouts. So Nico Hoerner, in 5 games, played every inning, only had 2 strikeouts, had 9 hits, and batted .450. Michael Busch was batting .425. He was 4 for 17, but he hit 3 home. They said today he hit 3 home runs in the series.
Well, today he got a base knock, and that was the first one that he got.
That was his only.
That wasn't a home run.
That was not a home run. Okay. So he had 17. That means somewhere along the line he got platooned or had some at bat or some walks.
I really want to say something.
Go ahead.
Because there was a video that one of the 3 videos I did on my own. It was when they played Seattle in the season, and Cal Raleigh and company just smoked them. And I said this on tape. I said this in the episode that I did because I was watching that broadcast live. And Boog Shambi made the comment of, for the people who hate home runs, they help you in postseason. Well, where was this feast and famine offense in this entire postseason, Boog? Where was it?
And Busch,
where was it?
Busch batted .425, okay, and he had 4 strikeouts. Now it gets abysmal. This is where I could have put cleats on, you could have put cleats on, and got up to the plate, and things got bad.
Matt Shaw is a speed bump.
Well,
Dansby Swanson is a speed bump. Ian Happ strikes out looking.
Kyle Tucker, maybe we've seen the last of Kyle Tucker when we do our review show, but Kyle Tucker had 3 strikeouts. He was 4 for 21, and that comes out with a batting average of 190. 190. Suzuki, 5 strikeouts, 4 hits and 20 at-bats.
And he's the one who got the home run today.
And right at 200. He was at the Mendoza line. Right at 200. And that's not a fault for Mendoza. That's a thing. There was a guy from the Pittsburgh Pirates. His name was Mendoza, and he batted a lifetime batting average of 200. And there's still you can Google this all you want, but there is, if you Google the Mendoza line, it's batters who had a career of batting under 200. But he was right at the Mendoza line. The coffee man, Ian Happ. The 5 and 10 guy that they can't get rid of.
Oh no.
Ian Happ had 7 strikeouts. He was 2 for 19 in the series.
Is he going to get another Golden Glove?
Maybe. Batted 105. Carson Kelly had 8 strikeouts. 2 for 20.
Oh, and they have to bring him back next year.
Right at 100. 2 for 20, batted 100. I would love to say this gives me glee, but I can't.
Just say it.
Pete Crow Armstrong.
Just say it.
6 strikeouts, 2 hits, 17 at-bats.
Yeah, because you hate him.
He batted 117 in the series.
And you know what? Is that everyone there that you have?
No.
Who else?
Probably more abysmal was the guy that you can't stand, the speed bump.
I hate Dansby Swanson.
Dansby Swanson had 9 strikeouts in 5 days.
I hate Dansby Swanson.
2 for 17.
He does.
Batted 117.
I hate Dansby Swanson.
And then Matt Shaw had 4 strikeouts. He was 2 for 10. 200. The Cubs were 31 for 161, which is a grand total of a batting average of 192, and they struck out 48 times.
This is my problem.
In 5 games.
And this is my problem. With everything that you just referenced here on this piece of paper, granted, I know our audience can't really see this all that well, but this is stat sheet that was written down here. However, okay, slight little review here. And, why don't you tell the good people of our audience how long you've been a Chicago fan?
I was born and raised on the South Side. I have been to more Sox and Cub games than many of you will either fathom to possibly go. I have spent my entire lifetime going to Cubs and Sox games. My mom used to take us to Ladies' Day, which was every Friday at Wrigley Field. Ladies got in for free, so the mothers got in for free. Mom would pack the lunches, okay, and she'd always get a seat. The kids got like standing room only or whatever. But that's when I was younger, and I didn't mind standing room only because we would find a way to sit on a ramp and put our heads in between the bars and all of that stuff. And Mom would be sitting down, having a good time. All my life.
Oh yeah, that's when foul baseball.
Yeah, the foul baseball that went under my seat that Rusty Staub hit. Actually, it was 2 seats down, and we never got the foul ball. Some kid with an ice cream cone walked in the aisle, went down, picked up the ball, and took off. But your point is, why did you ask me about?
Well, because I've seen a billion home openers. Up until COVID, we had our consecutive streak that was going on, and we went back to it. But my point, reason why I bring that up, is because, I feel it doesn't matter who you are, what sport, what your hobby, what your interest is, you over a stretch of time, you're just aware of things. And you don't have to explain to people how and why you know things. You just do. Like, if you're a fisherman on a boat, you just know how the waves are going to be. If you're a hunter, and you're an avid outdoorsman, you just know how the nature and the animals are going to be during the hunting season. You just know how things are going to be. if you're a Cub fan, and if you claim to watch baseball in the ways how you and I do, you should know going in what to expect and what to be afraid of.
I got you. Yeah, I'm going to use the word yelled at me multiple times because I was predicting.
When you're jumping off the building in April.
No, in this series. No, what I'm saying now in this series, like you just, I'm trying to give you a prompt here. Okay.
Okay, we'll continue.
Okay. I'm sitting there and I'm predicting what Swanson's going to do in this series before he even gets up. I'm predicting what Mr. Armstrong is going to do before he does it. Because, Ian Happ, we're predicting, as you just said, you've watched enough games, you're sitting there going, this is what's going to take place. This is what's going to take place. And you know it even before it happens. And, and that's one of the 7 coping mechanisms. If you know what's going to happen beforehand, it kind of softens the blow. And you're sitting there watching this going, the Cubs are not going to string 4 hits together.
No, and the minute it was announced it was going to be a bullpen game, and a do-or-die Game 5, I think that should be a fireable offense. And the moment, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to call him this, the moment they put the fat Jabba the Hutt slob Kittredge on the mound, the moment they put Kittredge on the mound, that's when I knew it was game over.
Okay, but they had to put him in that. They had to because...
And you hate him more than me.
I hate him more than anybody, but you know what? And Kittredge gave the home run up to Frelick in the 8th inning, but you know why? Because Caleb Thielbar was already used up, and they started...
Ben Brown wasn't used.
Ben Brown was never even used anywhere, and they started a lefty. They started Pomerantz. Now, and I keep asking, we've been pleading with you people out there to somehow funnel us, channel us to bigger markets, because I want Craig Counsell to see this and hear this, because if Craig Counsell did not pitch Pomerantz in the 1st inning, he would have had another lefty, and you know damn well he would have went lefty for lefty, but the reason he didn't take Kittredge out of the game is because he didn't have a lefty to pitch to Frelick, and then Frelick hit a ball that's still traveling in Milwaukee, okay, and that's why, because he started a guy and pitched him 1 inning.
And here's my other thing. And when we went to the home opener against the Padres, and you were already jumping off a building, I thought you were crazy because it was April. But when you get to June, and their entire offense, the entire team, it was just, their win, no, not the win percentage. It was the runs in the win column. The run differential.
The run differential.
And the home run power hitting. And, all this other garbage, the hits per 9 capita, or walk per 9, or all this stupid garbage. It's only relevant if you're playing MLB The Show on your PlayStation. No. Because they were dominant for like the first 2 months, and then they got tested.
Up until June, I believe it was June 26th, they were 6.5 games in front. And they ended up 6.5 games back.
That's what they did. That's what they did.
So what about this big run differential?
That's what they did. And you know what? If they don't hit home runs, I've been saying it. And because they got so much money, granted, they're not like the New York Mets, all the great New York teams that can't get anything done, like the Yankees or the Mets got all these, got all like $500 million invested in people. But the Cubs still got so much time and contracts worked out. Like you always say, Ian Happ can't move him, and you're not going to. Horner's been extended. Swanson's got a long-term deal. Matt Shaw is a rookie third baseman, and he's the only real third baseman that they actually have. Okay.
Now they can exceed the salary cap, the luxury cap, like the Yankees and the Mets do, but they're not going to.
Well, and to be fair, dare I even say, just because you have money, that's not an advantage. It's like, oh, the New York Mets got all this, the money capital or
No,
whatever.
the Cubs
That's
spent.
not-
The Cubs spent. You spent on a guy who hit 117 in a playoff. He's your shortstop, making 27.5 a million a year, and he batted 117.
That's your guy. Oh, but he's got great hair. Oh, but him and his wife had a bobblehead day. Remember?
Okay.
You know what? And I don't see them being any better next year.
They're locked in. They're not going to be any better. These guys are going to be a year older. And as I keep saying, with the home runs, Michael Busch was flirting with damn near 40 home runs with what he had and in the postseason.
That's the only reason they made postseason.
Is he going to remotely get 40 home runs next? You would want to think maybe, but I'm going to say no.
The only reason why this Cub team made the wild card and won a playoff round is because they can hit home runs. That's it. That's literally it. They don't hit line drives. They don't steal bases in the way how people think. They don't. None of their pitchers are going to win Cy Young.
Because how many homers did they hit in this series?
Like 5.
That's 5 out of 31 hits. So 1 out of every 6 hits is a homer.
In the first or second innings. And then they
Yeah.
don't do anything else.
I don't think they scored, well, except for game 4. I don't think in any, even including in the Padres series, I don't think they scored after the 4th inning. They scored a bunch. They scored a few in the Brewers game the other day in the 6th or 7th inning when they won
6-0.
Okay,
Won 6-0.
but I don't think after the 4th or 5th inning they score runs.
No, they don't. And I don't know why people are getting so excited. And there was a stretch of time there when people were under a delusion and saying Pete Crow Armstrong could have been a 40-40 guy. Well, just because he had this great season, that doesn't automatically guarantee he's going to be 30-30 again. Ronald Acuna Jr., he had the great season. What has he done since then? Alfonso Soriano, years back, throwback name for you people out there. Alfonso Soriano had the big 40-40 year with the Washington Nationals. He comes over, joins the Cubs, and he wasn't anywhere close to 40-40. Still a great player.
Look up Joe Charbonneau, baby. I'm just going to give you the name. You got to look for it. I'm not going to tell you what he did his second year after he won Rookie of the Year with Cleveland. I'm not going to tell you.
No, you have to look that up
Look that one up.
to prove the point.
But
If a guy... But here's the other thing. If you went... Let me finish this before... Pete Crow Armstrong. Because that's supposed to be their big main attraction right now. That's supposed to be the guy for the future.
He's the linchpin. He's the guy that's
That
going to hold
is-
down center field and be Willie Mays for the next 25 years.
That's the guy that people want to see and whatever. So when you spend 170 games, regular season plus playoffs,
It has been 170 games.
170 games of him sucking, and I'll say it, he sucks against left-handed pitching. His on-base percentage is below 300. It's below 290. And he hits no more higher than 245. That's abysmal. And the fact that your $40 million guy in the dugout, leading the entire organization currently, and saying, oh, don't worry, just be you. Just be you, and throw the helmet, throw the bat, and pray to God you don't get ejected for something that you can get ejected for doing. Let's say that as it is. And you know what? You're going now into the off-season. Going back, I know it's no longer called Ho-Ho Cam training.
Yeah, it's something in Arizona.
Because that's where they have the spring training, for those who don't know. But, when they go back to Arizona for spring training, they have a lot of question marks that need to be fixed.
Camelback Ranch, is that what it's called? Or I don't know.
Sloan Park, I think it is.
Sloan Park.
Sloan Park. When they go to Sloan Park in Arizona, they have a lot of question marks that need to be fixed, that need to be addressed, and it's not going to be. And when they were here, Ballesteros sat on his ass for mostly, it did nothing. Owen Casey sat on his ass, did nothing. Willie Castro, a guy you traded for, sat on his ass and did nothing. Who else? Kevin Alcantara sat on his ass and did nothing. Why have those guys in uniform
It's very possible.
if they're not going to do anything?
It's very possible Owen Casey could have done better than batting 117 with 9 strikeouts.
And there's people comparing this team to the 2015 squad, in the automatic assumption that they're going to win the World Series next year.
No.
That's not even guarantee either.
They ended up being lucky where they ended up because they only beat the Padres between the 4th and 5th spot by a game, and then now they had a big lead over the last wild card spot.
I'll even go better. When they clinched the playoff spot, they lost 5 straight games.
They did lose 5 straight games.
And no one was saying anything about that.
And it's going to be the narrative, and as I said this before, the real talking heads in Chicago, the Cubs...
If the Cubs were to win this game, if they were to, they would have played on Monday, but they don't.
Yeah, that's it. They would have played. Yeah, if the Cubs would have played, that was a couple of things here. If the Cubs would have won, they would have played on Monday, and people would have had to decide whether or not you're going to watch Monday Night Football, which the Bears are on, or the Cubs. That's number one. Number two, the real sports shows start Monday. Okay, you got tomorrow to cool down. All right, and they're going to be Monday morning. People are going to be talking about the Bears game for Monday night. And this Cubs loss is going to slowly dissipate into the night. And people are just going to say, the Cubs got there.
They won the playoff round.
They won a playoff round.
They beat the Padres.
Yeah. They were one game away from going to the pennant round.
Oh, well.
And Pete Crow Armstrong was 30-30. Did you see the great catch he made tonight? Did you see the error he made earlier in the game?
Oh, he played. They didn't play very well today.
The Dansby Swanson routine throw from short to first.
Over Bush's head.
Okay.
I hate Swanson so much.
You sit there and go, and here's the other thing, and we talk about this all the time. From a standpoint of a score, it was 3-1. It was 2-1. And 2-1. Andrew Vaughn, ex-White Sox.
One of the many former White Sox who were in the playoff tournament.
Got the home run. But you sit there and go, would you rather get your ass kicked? Yes, I'd rather get my ass kicked than lose 3-1.
No, not me. Because at that point, then you're the Colorado Rockies. And you should know it's like, why are we even trying? Why are we even playing?
But if I'm saying it tonight, if I got my ass kicked 10-1, or I lost 3-1, and I looked at the box score and said I got all of the, and I look at and I break it down, I see all of this shit, and you sit down and go, God.
Because here's the other thing. Now.
And they had multiple innings tonight where they had runners on first and second or bases loaded.
Well, but here's the other thing of it is now. And you coached all sports within reason. You coached the 3 major ones.
At a certain level, yeah.
Right. Well, high school.
High school level, yeah.
But anyway, what can a coaching staff in baseball do to help hitters? I don't know how much you really could do. It's not like football where it's like you break an entire offense down top to bottom and you build an offense around certain.
Well, first of all, you know me with technology. Everybody's got technology. You're seeing your own swing, and you can't. People are watching their own swing in the dugout, and you can't see that. Okay, and then the other thing is, the pitching's so great. No, you look at some of these pitchers. If you stand up there, most of these pitchers would walk you.
Kittredge is a Major League Baseball player. That tells me everything I need to know.
Okay,
Kittredge with the lean. Kittredge with the lean back. Ooh.
And
God, Kittredge, my God.
The batting, and people will say, well, why am I getting so excited here when the Major League batting average of a human being is 243? Well, you know what? That's not good.
No.
That's not good.
And even better.
If that's the case, 243, the Cubs finished in this series 192. That's 50 points below Major League average.
They don't hit those home runs in the season. They're not even here.
Okay. And This show is not
We're not
to be anti-Cub.
No, we're not. We're not. It's just we just don't hide bullshit. Pardon our language.
But you guys, if you're sitting there at some bar tonight going, "Yeah, this is a great thing," no, it's really not.
No, it isn't. And it's like, they made it. It's like, okay, it's in the same concept of thought of where it's, Illinois football before they played Indiana.
Yeah.
It's like, we're ranked. We won the first 3 games. And then they gave up the 70 points to Indiana.
Yeah. And there's probably this wacky talk already. It's like, wait till Steele comes back. Imanaga is gonna have to loosen up a little bit. He's gonna find his niche. Horton he didn't pitch in a series. They're gonna be wonderful next year.
How do you even know that?
You don't.
Mark Pryor got hurt and he never came back. Kerry Wood got hurt and he never started pitching ever again.
After phenomenal years. It's, I got to find out how much money Murphy's making at Milwaukee. I got to look that up. I didn't have a chance to look that up. This Cub team was anemic. Okay? This offense in this series, they had to come back and win 3 games in a row, and you're batting $192, and you think that you're going to come back and beat. Good pitching's always going to be good hitting, no matter what level you're at. I don't care if you're playing Pee Wee League, college, major leagues, minor leagues. Good pitching is always going to dominate good hitting. But when you're hitting $192, okay, and baseball is based on failure. You fail more times. It's the only profession. If you bat 300, that means you failed 7 out of 10 times. Okay? And you're making $1 bazillion. If you're a heart surgeon and 7 people die on the table out of every 10 that you operate on, you're probably not going to, people aren't going to come to you for heart surgery. Okay? But that's just the way baseball is. It's based on failure. More people fail, but it's the team that fails the least amount wins. And this is such, it's an agonizing, it's a terrible way to finish the season. They limped their way out of the season. Okay? And I am sure that if I go to my regular email and my phone will be ringing off the hook, those half-ass bastard Cardinal fans will be coming out of the woodwork saying, "Well, see, we told you." Well, stop that nonsense, because you know what? The Cubs were in the playoffs. If there is a solace, the Cubs were in the playoffs. Cardinals were nowhere to be had. Okay? The other beauty about today is, if there is a silver lining about today, is Missouri football. Okay? And, Missouri football. People who, they puff their chest out because Missouri football is in the SEC. And if you listen to the game, they had a stat that said Missouri has never beaten Alabama while they were in the SEC. And they said they haven't beat Alabama since 1975. That's 51 years ago. Okay? And Missouri was 5-0. Their strength of schedule was 105 in the nation. They played Central Arkansas, UMass, University of Massachusetts. And Massachusetts got beat by Kent State today. Kent State had 1 win. Kent State hung 60 on UMass. Okay? They played a horseshit Kansas team. They played another horseshit SEC team, South Carolina. And then there's a 5th game in there against, I don't know, it might be like some 8-man football team they played. Okay? And they were 5-0. You know, and Mizzou. The guy, the running back from Missouri, he was the leading rusher in the nation. He had 60 yards rushing in this game. Okay? Yeah. So, again, statistics are for losers. Okay? But this is hard and fact stuff. You could quantify this. Because you know what? In baseball, you got to wait your turn. You know, Nico Horner, who batted .450, couldn't go to first and go, wait a minute, I'm going to bat again. No, you got to wait your turn.
You know,
and you got to let, dumpster fire averages get their turn at bat.
You know, Cubs left 5 men on base. I just saw the post-game show from upstairs. By the way, see Clemson beat Boston College 41-10.
Clemson's going to be okay.
And they want Dabo on the hot seat?
Well, Clemson's going to win the ACC, and they get an automatic bid to the big dance again. When college, we're going to start talking about college football down the road.
Well, now this can all be football now.
It's going to be all, in our shows.
And some hockey.
Our shows are going to probably be, after Bear games and stuff now. So if you're going to be looking for us, the baseball season, we were getting all riled up. Okay. So now we're probably going to be, gearing towards football and other sports. We might have maybe 1 show a week, 2 at the most. We've been firing them off regularly because of the Cubs playoffs.
Because, well, you know what, and look, I know going in you're not going to win every. I know it was an uphill battle because they had to play 4 playoff rounds if they were to win the whole thing, because they were a wild card team. But still, they got there and they won.
But they shouldn't have been a wild card team.
Well, they were. Well, actually, I think that. Well, how can you say that? How can you say that when you look at this? How can you say that when
you had a 6.5 game lead?
12 of their pitchers were negative WAR on the mound throughout the entire year. That's including people that they cut. So there's people that they cut who were better than their final draft, pitching staff, including the bullpen, in Game 5 of the playoffs. And then their offense was anemic. The offense was feast and famine. They don't hit a home run, they don't win. Yeah, no wonder why you're not a wild card team.
Well, first of all, next year you're not going to get like you said, the 8 players are not going to be contact hitters, and there's no way around it. Okay, so then you got to go with the pitching deal, and you got to sit there and go.
That's what they need.
All right. You gotta see whether or not Ben Brown can actually pitch.
Who's the free agent next year?
Garrett Cole is a free agent.
He's got miles on him.
Okay, he's coming off, I think, Tommy John this year. I think
because who's up in the draft, who's free agent? Now you gotta look at that now.
But you gotta see you know what, you can't be going with Assad. You gotta see if Assad can literally pitch.
They didn't even let him pitch, I think, at all.
And you got to see if Ben Brown can actually be a starter. Okay? And you got to see if Cade Horton can come back. And you got to see if Steele can come back. You have 6 or 7 bodies, but then they cut all these other jokers and pick up the Pomerances and the Theobars and Soroka and all these guys on 1-year contracts, hoping.
And Soroka was a Whiteside.
Yes, hoping that can give you innings. You know what? And they did. But the way Counsell runs the bullpen, I think
it's like
they had nothing left in the tank. And it was a miserable, it's not surprising that the Cubs are done. It's a miserable way on how the season ended, if you're asking me.
Well, I mean, on the bright side, you can't stand James Franklin Penn State football team.
They lost 3 in a row. And they got Northwestern beat them today.
Yeah, by what, 3 points? 1 point?
1.
Ooh.
1.
You told me the finishing score.
And, and then I have to go upstairs and take a peek at what BYU is doing.
I think they're winning.
So, we got to see that. But
I could be wrong. I didn't really see that well.
So, Our next future shows basically, well, we're going to do a show after the Bear game.
Should we do a show in Arizona?
I don't know what we're going to do.
Spring training?
Well, that's months down the road.
It's like
We're going to do a show.
5 months away.
We're going to do a show after the Bear game.
Is it only like 5 months away?
Probably either late night Monday or Tuesday.
Are you taking the over? And for the points for Bears Commanders?
Since we're talking about that right now, I personally think that the champagne bottle cork popping is going to stop this week. I think Jalen Daniels coming off of his injury. I like.
There he goes again, betting against your team. There you go again.
Again, it's not betting against my team. Okay? If I'm not betting, I'm going to root for the Bears. Okay? There's a difference. If I'm betting and I am a true capitalist and I'm going to try to make money,
okay, Kevin.
I'm going to take Washington. And I'm going to root then for Washington to make money. Okay?
What are you, Dutch van der Linde?
But if I don't like the line, I won't bet the game, and of course I'm going to root for the Bears. Okay? Okay.
What if?
Because I got to make money to pay for this Cincinnati trip that we're going on. Okay?
Bears Bengals.
Did you buy a ticket? Did you buy a ticket?
Why don't you tell the people how you obtained the tickets?
People, this bullshit that you need an electronic device to get a ticket to a sporting event, you're full of crap.
In 2025.
Okay? Because the wonderful people at the Cincinnati Bengals, and I hope this gets channeled to Cincinnati, the wonderful people at Cincinnati, I don't have a device to put anything on. And I called these people from a landline and said, I don't have a device.
How old is that landline telephone?
And I have a debit card. I finally had to get a debit card. I'm willing to pay for tickets. And the guy said, I'm willing to help you. How many tickets do you need? And he is mailing me hard copy tickets. And I'm going to prove them to you, because when the hard copy tickets come, I'm going to flash them son of a bitches right in front of your faces. And when all these people who tell me you can't get into a sporting event without a device, I'm telling you right now, you're full of shit. Okay? Because November 2nd, we're going to Cincinnati. We're going to watch the Bears. I'm not going to bet the game. I'm going to root for the Bears. I'm going to have my Mitch Trubisky jersey on. And I'm going to sit there and have a souvenir from the game, an actual ticket. Okay? Not some bullshit, code on an electronic scanner. No. So when people tell you can't get in, you got to change your ways. Why don't you buy a new phone? No, I don't need to buy a new phone. You just got to call people up. You got to make an effort. And all you rat bastards out there who say you got to have a phone, I'm telling you right now, you're full of shit. Because I'm going into sporting events without a phone. If you got, cash works. If you got money to pay for stuff. So anyway, we're going, and I gotta have money to pay for a room. So if I can defray some of the cost by betting against the Bears, I'm going to do that. Okay? And now we don't have to make a decision here. Well, the decision was already made. We don't really have to make a decision if we're going to watch the Cubs or we're going to watch...
No, we didn't do that because they did it for us.
But if there is a sliver, and I'm going to take a moment here, and I'm not making this up. My college roommate grew up and was born and raised in Wisconsin, and he was a Brewer fan, and he passed away 7 years ago. And
he died on October 10th, I think it was.
It was October 10th. Yes, 10/10.
It was 10/10/10.
10-10, that was yesterday. I
10
forgot
o'clock,
about it. I got the call from the police who did a wellness check at his home, and I got the call to say that he passed, but he's a Packer fan, Brewer fan. He would always have his Brewer jerseys. But if there is any solace, I know my buddy and his favorite announcer, Bob Uecker, are overseeing everything now, and they're popping the champagne bottles for their beloved Brewers. So I have to root for the Brewers now to win this, even though they're defectors from the American League and crossed over. They're not a true.
Yeah, you don't feel.
I'm anti that. I have some hang-ups with that.
So if they were to,
But they're playing the Dodgers, and I can't stand the Dodgers.
So they were to. Well, one of our best subscribers is a Dodger fan. One of our viewers is a.
Yes.
prominent
And
Dodger.
I'm sorry. Great family, but I have to root. I have to root for the no names. Okay, I can't root for guys that are allegedly in the same breath with Babe Ruth and DiMaggio and Garrick because he had 2 good seasons in L.A. I'm tired. Come on, people.
I mean, Pat Murphy's got the pocket. Did I tell you that there's a concession stand in Miller Park?
Did. Yes.
Called a pocket.
Yeah, pocket.
Snacks?
Yes, pocket sacks. So, the Cubs are done. You won't have to hear us bitch about the Cubs anymore. We're gonna do a wrap-up show about it and what the future lies.
And again, we're not anti-Cubs. It's just we're being real because 2015 they were not like this.
No.
They were an all-around sanctioned team.
No. I mean, there were stars on that team.
Yeah, I mean half the team made.
Kyle Hendricks was better than any starter that the Cubs had this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kyle Hendricks might have been the 3rd best starter on that team, behind Lester and Arrieta, and then Hendricks.
And he's retired now. He retired, I think. Is he?
He responded to, where did people hear that? He made a comment. So it's not official.
Oh, okay.
Okay? No. Hell, I'd bring him back to be a 5th starter.
I don't know if he would, though.
No, but anyway.
I mean, I don't know if he would be willing to do it.
Yeah. Anyway, gonna sign off here. I'm gonna scroll because Hawaii college football is playing in the islands, and there's a 6-hour time zone change, so I could be up all night watching Hawaii.
Yeah, and then you'll be referencing Hawaii 5-0 and the violence of that TV show.
So, but if you're out there and you are not a Cub fan, you could sleep well tonight because the Cubs are done. Missouri football got waxed. Okay.
Are you expecting a phone call tomorrow? By a certain...
I'm going to probably get a couple different phone calls about people.
Certain loon.
But we're kind of done. Like I said, it's still kind of cold here at the house. It's usually, it's cold when you lose. But it's not going to change next year. The W flag, we got the W flag out in front of the house. I might still leave it there. Maybe change it to a bear one. Who knows?
Well,
but
we still got the flagpole.
But anyway, working our. We'll get to Chicago, have an Aurelio's because it's the sauce.
And I think the Blackhawks lost again today. So.
And Blackhawks are.
Yeah, they're not doing too good.
They're not doing too good, but watch us, subscribe to us, comment us, please. Forward this stuff to people you know, okay? And if and if you're out there and you know people in the Chicagoland area, forward to them because I want some of those talking heads out in Chicago and the broadcasters to look us up.
Oh, there's also one particular one who was on one of those radio shows. Not so much anymore now.
Well, no,
not so much anymore now.
Okay. But we're about out of time here. Again, Cubs got beat 3-1. their World Series dreams are dead. That's all we got now. Again, we are Hey Hey Sports Chicago. Look us up and enjoy the sports.